Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board, and Dr. Swanson. As we pull up my presentation today, I just want to begin by saying I'm completely honored to be here to present. As you know, Colorado STEM Academy opened its doors in the fall of 2013 to students in grades 3 through 6. We started with a little over 180 students, and our entire certified staff could sit around one table at staff meetings. Since then, we have added 5 more grade levels, 1 additional building, countless Chromebooks, and several more tables to our staff meetings to complete our school as Westminster Public Schools' first comprehensive K-8 innovation school and the only competency-based school in the state. In 2016, our staff worked together to revise our innovation plan. And it doesn't feel like it was that long ago when we were standing before you presenting a plan with 100% staff support. This plan drives the work we do, with the mission stating that Colorado STEM Academy is dedicated to preparing students for continued education and workforce readiness through the integration of the STEM fields. But we certainly didn't do this alone. We pride ourselves in our community partnerships through our project-based learning. Most recently, our school collaborated with the National Center for Atmospheric Research, known as NCAR, and University Corporation for Atmospheric Research, known as UCAR, through a program called GLOBE to host the only international weather station on the continent. We also want to recognize our district maintenance team, technology team, learning services, finances, HR, and countless others who have partnered with us to support our success. On behalf of our staff, I want to personally thank our district team and the Board of Education for your continued support of our innovation school. I'm also here today to recognize our parents, some of who are here supporting us today for their continued support. There are many school options available to families throughout the state, and our parents choose to share their babies with us every day. I hope that after this presentation, you'll learn a little bit more about why they might make this important decision. I want to thank our staff today and our assistant principal, Lindsay Lohman, for their hard work and committed dedication to our school. And you see that STEM truly is their superpower today with their shirts. And finally, I want to say thanks to our students. You are the reason we are all here today and every day, because we believe you are going places. We opened up this year with a book that I read to staff and our youngest learners called Going Places. It's about a team of students who were presented a challenge, and through collaboration and some outside-of-the-box thinking, they took directions to build a go-kart, and instead, they built a plane. This year, our district team and staff developed our own performance challenge, which I will share with you in a few moments. As a staff, we take challenges very seriously. Every 3 to 4 weeks, our teachers take time to reevaluate student data, set new goals, discuss strategies, and work to help students achieve them. Our students do the same thing. We work to set short and long-term goals during WIN. WIN stands for What I Need, and the focus of this time is targeted instruction for students who need additional support with any content area. This could include English language support, specific content area goals, and extensions for our GT learners. You can see on the top left a glimpse of our school-wide data room, and on the right, an image of one teacher's online data notebook. At the bottom of the page, you'll see an image of a student data notebook and student goals set throughout the building. These goals, along with our innovation plan and mission to provide real-life learning experiences for students, are all the driving forces behind our work. And we are going places. We are so proud to say that not only did we land in the performance category again, we jumped from 75.8 on the 2015-2016 school performance framework to 78.6. And we did all of that through expanding to K-8. This framework was definitely a proud moment for our team at CSA. I will say, however, that I'm most proud of this slide right here. The blue in both the 2016 and 2017 columns shows that our CSA students are excelling in terms of growth on the PARCC assessment. Our median growth percentile in 2017 was 56.5 in English language arts and 61.5 in math, with the state average right around 50. We recognize that we are a unique school in Westminster Public Schools. because we aim to serve both in and out of district students. So we're always evaluating the performance of other local schools. A point to note is that we are on the heels of the first STEM school in Adams County listed at the top. We find that as our parents are shopping around for schools, they're often looking for a K-8 focus, a STEM focus, even a GT focus. The schools on this slide are some of our local competitors, including Pinnacle Charter, Crown Point Academy, and Jefferson Academy. And we're proud to say that we're right there at the top. Today, on behalf of our team, I pledge to you and the parents and students at CSA our commitment to the 2018 Performance Challenge. Academic achievement and growth are the highest priority for us, and as I mentioned before, our staff thrives when presented a challenge. With all of that said, though, we recognize that we're not done growing. We're not even close. Through our deep data digs, we know that we have room to improve. We have a few critical focus areas that we believe will help us meet our performance challenge. As I mentioned before, our WIN block, standing for What I Need, is specified time for targeted support. Teachers analyze data through our short cycle monitoring and determine specific groups for intensive instruction based on needs. We also have dedicated time during this block to work on the social emotional aspect of learning. And at CSA, we call this time social emotional leadership. And it's really a time for students to dive into important things like mindfulness, respect, and leadership, so we can really raise the whole child. We also know that our students need additional work on vocabulary development in all content areas. And in math, we have two specific focuses this year. One on math modeling, which is real-life problem-solving skills, and the other on major content, which is the ability for students to solve problems at their grade level. And then finally, we will continue our focus on project-based learning. That's always been a driver for the work that we do at STEM, and we want to make sure that we can continue that real-life relevant project approach to learning. I'd like to end tonight with a few words from our students. They are the reason we are here and the reason we work so hard every day to boost achievement.
Colorado STEM Academy can help you in the future with experience in technology.
What I like the most is like all the opportunities that it gives us for the technology.
I like its technology program a lot. It's been a great opportunity. It's not just a computer lab, it's sort of like an exploration and gives me some ideas going for what I'd like to pursue in a future career.
I like how there's a lot of PBLs and it helps you create things to help other people in like the future.
It teaches us using PBLs or project-based learning, which is us working in groups to learn in unique ways. It also provides us with a portfolio of work that we've completed to show off to high schools or colleges, improving our odds to get in.
I really like the teachers.
I think that Colorado STEM Academy is preparing our students for the future through project-based learning, where students actually have to collaborate together to solve real-world problems and actually make real change.
Thank you for your time. I'm honored to stay up here and answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Martin. Board?
You talked about teachers set goals. Are the students involved in that process?
Oh, 100%. So during that WIN block that I mentioned, that's actually dedicated time every single day that our students partner with their teachers to set goals. We have weekly goals, and then our students set long-term goals as well. I walk every single one through. No, our teachers, our dedicated teachers in the back, they absolutely, they'll start small with the kinders, just learning how to set goals and what that means. And then by the time they're middle school students, they're really often running in terms of setting goals and measuring their own achievement. Absolutely. We have been doing that for a few years. One of our partnerships last year was with the Beeline station, and actually some of our teachers back here helped partner with this station where the students would take walking field trips over there and does help provide feedback for the design of a playground over there. That's just one example. We've got those going on in all the different levels.
I just had a question of a different nature. You're on top, so to speak, score-wise and everything. Do you feel added pressure because you're on top and your goals to excel even further? Do you think it's a little bit even tougher for you guys?
Every day I feel that way. Our staff, and I think Ms. Wykowski said it well, when you meet that bar, you just continue raising the bar, and I think we do that for kids as a district. Once we meet a bar, we continue raising that bar so that our kids can continue to achieve, and it's a celebration for everyone.
I couldn't find the scores for the students as it related to math in all grades. Is that in their achievement? Was that on the PowerPoint slide?
It's in the PowerPoint slide for growth and not the achievement.
Okay. It's not to put you on the spot. I was just curious. I was looking for it, and sometimes I'm blind. Okay.
Are you looking for Park or Scantron?
Whatever you want to deliver. It was more in regards, I mean, knowing that most of the students coming, the majority of the students, if not all, are math and science focused. And, you know, I know that's going to elevate math scores. But the question I had, I guess, was more for you, Oliver, as it relates to, because I know in the elementary world that the teachers are specialized in certain areas. At STEM, are the majority of the teachers have a focus in math? Or do we know that?
You've hired most of the teachers?
Yeah.
All of our teachers have a focus in all areas. Once we get up to the middle school levels, they start becoming more specialized in their specific content area.
Because I just know one of the things, I mean, we're looking at national trends of, you know, a lot of elementary, individuals getting trained in elementary school are focusing more on reading and comprehension. And that was what I was really getting at.
And that is fair to say. In a typical elementary school, the focus more for a teacher in terms of training is on the reading literacy side.
Right.
Less on the math side, but in a STEM school, the leaning is toward the math and
Okay. And I bring that up because, you know, in looking at, I know that the district does a good job within the schools of reaching across the aisle to other schools and in the notion of best practices. And I was just wondering, you know, is that transpiring? Because if you are on the top, are there other opportunities for teachers to approach your educators who have a specific strength in math to maybe help with curriculum or something along those lines?
Yes, there is. And next Monday night, I'll be hosting a group of math teachers across the K-8s to have just that discussion.
I feel like I'm setting up these questions for you. Okay.
Mr. McCoy.
He gave me a list, yeah.
Dr. Swanson?
I would also like to add that every Thursday, the first 3 Thursdays of the month, did I get that right, Jenny? We have zones, and we're walking through classrooms district-wide. And STEM is certainly a site that people visit and have visited, as well as all of our schools in the district. So we're cross-pollinating, I guess is the best way to put that.
Is that another bee analogy, Dr. Swanson?
Yes,
Yikes. Okay. Other questions?
I just think the last one that I have, and it actually should have been asked to every principal that's been up there, but, you know, and you don't have to answer this question right now because it's one of those that might be a little rhetorical, so think about it, sit on it. But what do you need from the board and how we can help push you all forward? And, you know, and I'm looking, I want you to be selfish and I want you to think of your school. And you don't have to answer that right now. That'd be the same question to Amber and then Mike and Russ the other day, but I think it's just something that, would be important. And I know you have your direct reports and you inform them and they come to us. But I do think that there's a reality where this board itself will have to challenge itself of what's the next steps for Colorado STEM Academy as it relates to the opportunity of 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I know that's a conversation that we're talking about. But again, we need to hear from some of the parents and communities, and we all have different opinions on that right now.
I would just first like to invite every single one of you into our building to come and see our children learn in action, because there's so many things that you can see in the numbers, but that's nothing compared to those little faces every single day, and see our teachers in action. So that would be, I would really like to extend that invitation, and I've seen so many of you in our buildings before. So please continue to stop by and continue to show that support. It means a lot to our teachers and our students and our parents. And then, we can have some of those deeper conversations there as well.
Okay.
Other questions?
No.
Okay, now it's time for mine. First of all, I just love seeing that slide showing you nipping on the heels of the oldest school in the district. Next year, I look forward to seeing you as King of the Hill, or Queen of the Hill, as it may be. So keep it up. I have some different types of questions. How has life been being a principal now that you have a year under your belt, being in 2 buildings?
Yeah.
Well, our staff has a Fitbit challenge. And almost all of these people are involved in the Fitbit challenge because we do get our steps in every single day, and we've actually we've enjoyed it. I think that it has a lot of benefits to having an elementary site that has more of an elementary feel, and then a middle school site that has more of a middle school feel. And then we are working on investing in some STEM sweatshirts for the winter months.
I see. Has the parking situation with the pickups and drop-offs gotten better this year? I know parents freaked out last year.
It's tight, and any time that you exit a large amount of people from any event, whether it's a sporting event or a school, it's going to take some time. But our dismissal procedure takes approximately 10 to 12 minutes at the elementary building. The middle school building is much quicker.
That's a huge, I have to say, in 5 years, that's been the number one complaint I've heard about STEM is the in and out and the parking situation, which is a very odd thing. Usually we hear about everything else. STEM has somewhat of an innovative calendar in that you're using a Hexter model of 6 6-week blocks as opposed to traditional two semester system. How's that help you guys? How does that work out?
A few different ways. And so our kids at the elementary from 4th through 8th on up move through electives on a Hexter rotation. And so that affords us the opportunity to offer all of those kids one, Hexter of band or orchestra, different art electives and PE electives. And so that's a nice way to afford that opportunities for all of our kids. And then at our middle school, it also provides a little bit more flexibility in terms of the time of day when the kids are offered different courses.
And how about the extended days in year model that you use? I think we're now beyond the initial grant funding on that, correct? But we've continued to sustain it?
We are beyond our initial grant funding. We've been able to partner very closely with our district to provide some additional professional development days, because in addition to all of the work our staff is doing with the management action plan, we're still trying to sustain our STEM and project-based learning focus. And so our extended year affords us that training. And then our extended day is about 25 to 40 minutes longer than a traditional school. And that really affords our children an opportunity for some of that deep embedded project-based learning opportunity.
Okay. I think that's about it. Kindergarten. When we sat down as part of the board that helped to craft the initial STEM school innovation plan, the plan was 3 through 8. Mm-hmm. And then this young teacher came to us and said, you guys have a problem. K1 and 2. We are losing parents because we have no K1 and 2. And that young teacher is now the principal of Colorado STEM Academy, and we couldn't be happier that she brought that to us. How's it working out, especially the kindergarten? Because as you know, there was a lot of hand-wringing around that one, particularly the cost to families in terms of the disposables that go with STEM, even in kindergarten, that are unique to a STEM experience. How's it working out?
You know, this year is the first year that our third graders were with us as second graders. And we have seen such a dynamic change in that particular group of students. Just with their technology ability, within the culture of our building. And so we're really looking forward to seeing each year as these kids grow into little STEM learners, what they can do. And so I would say that young teacher made an important recommendation.
Well done. Well done.
And she's humble.
Funny.
Do you know, I have a quick question, and you may not know the answer. If maybe you can get it to us at some point. On your licensed staff, how many of that licensed staff number, percentage-wise, speak one or more or dual languages? Do you know by chance?
Off the top of my head, I believe I've got 3 speaking Spanish and 1 we just recently hired that's fluent in sign language. And so I am partnering closely with our communications department. Felicia Michaels has been a huge savior to us in helping figure out the best ways to communicate with our Spanish-speaking families. The new Blackboard platform offers such great tools for us administrators to make sure we can offer Spanish-speaking communications, whether that be in phone blasts, emails, text, to all of our families.
I meant to ask Hodgkins as well as Shaw Heights and Westy, whatever that name is of that Westy Elementary's.
What is?
I meant to ask that. I'll continue to ask that. Thank you.
You brought up a good point, the Hexter calendar. When I visit, I would love to have a long conversation about that. Because I do think
I'm looking forward to it.
Fits well with competency-based. The other thing is, just so that you know, and this is my last comment, it's not a question. As you know, I have family at STEM, and they think very highly of every single one of you. And not once have I heard a complaint, not even about parking or dropping and picking the hug and go section. But just so that you know, that people think very highly of what you guys are all doing.
Thank you. That means a lot whenever we hear that from our community members. They are they're so important to our family at CSA.
And again, they're like every other parent, they're great ambassadors. And I have to say, STEM parents are very proud to shout it from the rooftops that their students attend Colorado STEM Academy. And yes, maybe next year we'll be seeing one of those rare blue distinction.
That's the goal.
I have no doubt in my mind that it will be achieved. So keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.